TXT's intro videos. We've all seen them, and if you were around from the start, we've all loved them since then as well. On the surface, these videos simply introduce the members by showing them in fun settings so that we can get to know them. There's actually a lot more to it than just that. What if I told you that these videos not only introduced the members to us in a fun way, but also showed us glimpses into their storyline and what they were going to encounter in the future as well? Let me tell you just how the TXT intros were genius. Hello friends and sunflowers, my name is Lena and welcome back to the Theory Garden. This video is basically just an excuse for me to talk about TXT intros yet again, because apparently I haven't done it enough. So they actually had two different types of, I don't know what I'm doing for. The first was called What Do You Do? And the second was called What Do You See? Although the second was technically called the questioning videos as well, and I've usually talked about them as such, and they were also confirmed as part of the TXT storyline. And yes, they were even referenced in the Sugar Rush Ride music video. But we're including it here because it was all part of the whole pre-debut kind of content, so it was functioning as an intro video at the time, even if it wasn't titled intro video. Anyways, these videos all did some really cool stuff. Of course, they did the usual thing like showing us the group dynamics. And of course, we got a pretty cozy look at each of the members and, you know, got acquainted with what they looked like because they hadn't been revealed up till that point. So we got to know like their names and their faces in this kind of sneak peek of their personalities. Since again, this was the first time we were seeing them, but it piqued our curiosity too, or at least it piqued mine. The questioning films, for example, they had this Morse code in them that kind of played at the end of the video when the TXT Universe logo showed, and each member's video spelled out a different word. We later learned that these Morse codes were related to their true names, something that I would love to do like an in-depth video about at some point. Just know that their true name is sort of tied to like their fate, and something that for them cannot be changed in the storyline. Basically, these Morse codes were like an early look at their true names and what fate had in store for them in the TXT, the Starseekers universe. Those true names were Promise, Tomorrow, Hope, Clue, and Secret. This whole like Morse code fiasco at the time actually really helped people kind of talk about the group. There was like intrigue there because obviously nobody knew what it was for at the time. I think it was a really smart move of Big Hit at the time to include that then, especially on top of the logo, which essentially meant that they were going to have a storyline confirmed. Just to add on to that, we were coming off of the hype of like the BTS universe. This was 2019, so we recognized that the TU logo, the plus U at the time kind of logo that came at the end was probably like the BU, the BTS universe. So the theories that it spawned were incredible. And if you are curious to get a like look into how we thought back then, I actually have two, I think, pre-debut videos on my channel that I posted way back when. And those only like loosely sort of scratch the surface of what we were talking about. But also if you go back and you watch those videos, just make sure you take everything with a grain of salt because I filmed that pre-debut. We had no information, no real information anyways. At least not that I knew was real. That's what this video is about, how it was real, but anyway. So now, with the like Sugar Rush Ride music video and the Temptation album, we see that the animals that appeared in the questioning videos were also in that music video, showing us that these are things that kind of tempt the boys. What do you see? This is the thing that's fated to tempt them to stay on Magic Island. And so it's all connected, just like how the like Morse codes at the end are related to their fate. And then also in this video, there's something that's kind of unexplained, but has come back. There's like these shapes that appear on their face in the shadows with light. And again, hasn't been explained to this day, but it has come back in the lullaby version of the Temptation album yet again. So I feel like we can expect to see more of what those shapes mean or represent in the future, and maybe we can like, you know, puzzle piece it together or something. But that's all the questioning video. What about the ones that weren't labeled as TU, like the actual intro videos? Well, they've had quite a few similarities to the story at this point in time, which really just sort of shows like care and attention that was kind of put into these fun little intro videos. First, the whole song that was sampled throughout that intros, which at the time was actually quite a point of interest since it kind of kept mentioning being a dreamer. It ended up becoming the name of the trio of the albums, the Dream Chapter. So even the sample song that they chose for those videos was relevant, but I definitely feel like it was intentional, especially since now we have like a lot of references to them falling asleep, and in the Japanese Sugar Rush Ride music video, they're literally like falling asleep like that entire music video. on the island. So they're dreaming. It's a huge part of it. But to come back to the video, when we look at the things that the members are kind of going through in the intros, it's also reflecting things that their characters are going through in the story. So let's just go through it really quickly. The bear that's in Yeonjun's intro video sort of seems to symbolize the bear that we saw in the Runaway video, which was a little bit later. The one that gets like corrupted and damaged, and then later we're told is not a bear. And I personally think this might symbolize like the loss of childhood, innocence, because they didn't want to grow up, etc., etc. It also potentially is like referencing the cat that haunts them. It does get like corrupted, right? And so I wonder if that's a way of showing that the youthful, like innocent good boys have to, you know, be reborn as the bad boys like we see in Good Boy Gone Bad. Yeonjun also gets trapped inside the claw machine, like when the cat traps him in a deal, and then he's, you know, later engulfed in the cat's claws. Get it? Because claw machine? I don't know. I would like to think that is a stroke of genius on their part. Subin's video too, he gets sleepy a lot or just woke up. And you know, that could be related to them falling asleep in Magic Island and stuff like that. But he also, his character literally dreams of the future. He has prophetic dreams of the future. And in fact, I actually think these intro videos, and along with other things, were quite monumental in helping me deduce that fact before we were like explicitly told in the Eternally music video that he does have dreams of the future. So that's good storytelling to me. Also, there's a lot of focus on him kind of listening to music on his phone. His ears are the things that get changed in the story due to his magic, which comes from his origin, which is an elf, and he's the first to sort of hear the ringing noise, like the tinnitus in the Magic Island music video. And finally, he's also the only one to have any interaction with like someone else. The intro video doesn't actually show like who this is, and at the time I think I thought it was Bomgyu because of the whole backpack. They're both backpacks, but it might be us, Moa, because yeah, I really think that they were trying to emphasize us as fans being a part of the story, because literally even then I had a pre-debut theory on it. Like, I cannot make this up. And TXT have since confirmed Moa is the ghost in their story. Moa is a part of their story. I would say that was some pretty good foreshadowing, because I would not have gotten there if there weren't hints of it that were littered throughout their intro and like other things that I pulled information from at the time. Just as an extra, Moa mostly interacts with Subin throughout the story. He's basically only talking to her. She does once appear in front of Kai, but that's it. Basically, exclusively appears in front of Subin, so unless you're counting like Loser Lover and stuff. But I'm not. Moving on. Taeyeon has other tie-ins. We just have a shot of like his eyes closed and then him opening them, a running theme for him. We later see it in Runaway, but also just in general, again, dreaming, you know, going to Magic Island. And speaking of Magic Island, we know that it's located in Tuksum. It's like a world over top of our world. So this is our world, and then this like other universe just exists on top of that area, and this is where Tuksum is. And it's like two different worlds on top of, superimposed on top of each other, basically. It's in Tuksum. And guess where Taeyeon's intro is? In Tuksum. Which is just kind of wild to think about. The hints. It's so good. Of course, we know because of the Temptation concept trailer that the cat kind of like potentially like is the one that sort of draws them in to go to the island in the first place. They're not like really in control here, and in Taeyeon's intro video, there's a lot of scenes where it's like there's a game that's on his phone, and then it changes reality as well. So reality is just a game to the people that are controlling them, and they're just sort of stuck in it. And I feel like that really matches with the story so well. Also, maybe it's a stretch, but like we did get some AR stuff, like in like Minisode, for example, era, which you could say is also related to this. And so maybe there's actually even more to it. I don't know. What do you think? Bomgyu is seen taking the train, which takes us to Magic Island. Obviously, it's a recurring theme. Frost. They also were in a train station in Frost, in Tuksum. And the way that his video end kind of implies that there's something that happens like when you open and get off the train, which again, Magic Island. Kai. So a lot of Kai's video is actually him like eating snacks and stuff like that, which we have recently realized actually feeds right into the Temptation. I mean, just look at the Can't You See Me music video. They're literally eating a whole bunch of stuff the entire time, and obviously they're doing other stuff like throwing things at each other, but you know, it's kind of similar to that. But of course here it's like a lot more innocent feeling. He's just having fun, you know? Like, you're not thinking about it as temptation, it's just fun. But I mean, that also reflects their journey in as a whole, because they had to start off with the whole, it feels fun, it's nice. They, you know, they go to Magic Island and it's like Blue Hour. And that's way before we even realized the extent of how deep this temptation went. So, super wild. By the way, I have a whole video on how Sugar Rush Ride will actually change your perspective of like the entire TXT universe music video. It's basically an explanation video, so please watch it if you haven't yet, because wow, like just so much. It's like this, but like on a much larger scale. Also, Hyuga has a dog here, and we do know that he is the one who's able to summon, well, magical animals, but animals, you know, they weren't gonna just pull out a magical bird and like be like, hey, magic in this intro video. We'd be like, what the heck? No. But I do really think that they're like, hey, look, this guy has animal companions. Ooh, keep your eyes out. And this kind of idea pops up again in a very like Snow White kind of way in the Blue Hour music video, where he's got like these magical birds that like carry their clothes and stuff. I feel like the animal being there specifically with Kai is really great foreshadowing. Oh, also he puts a flower crown on the dog, and I mean, listen, flower crown is an actual magical object in their storyline, at least in the web novel, which no one has read because it's expensive and it's not very well written. Anyways, it's a magical object that, you know, gives the person who's wearing it, the user of it, a lot of magical power, but if it doesn't recognize you as its owner, then like, you know, you're... But the dog doesn't meet that fate, so clearly it is worthy, and that is how I'm choosing to interpret it. So yeah, that's all the members, and that was a lot of foreshadowing that we just did for basically a lot of intros. But we didn't just get individual intro videos, we also got a group intro video at the time, which of course also had these similarities, even when it was just like fun and playing games, which that whole intro video was super fun. I love it. There's a train that they all ride. There's the idea that their real life is a game seen by the cat, maybe, or other people who are trying to control them. And of course it features a lot of running, which maybe that's a stretch, but I mean, listen, they spend a lot of their time running from things, growing up, responsibilities, and they literally have a song called Runaway. I mean, their story is literally about escapism and not wanting to face responsibilities or mistakes, but to instead remain like childlike and fun. Anyways, this whole thing was really just like a fun little video that I wanted to throw out there for you guys. There was a lot of care and attention put into these videos, and I appreciate it so much. Like, the absolute level of things that were implied and then later actually implemented are just so interesting. These videos were super short, like super short, and so of course I have a 15-minute videos talking about each of the questioning videos that I made, because of course I do. There's literally just so much jam-packed into them. Oh my god. I think that this made them really stand out at the time. I feel like I can just so appreciate the ingenuity of it. Like, look, we're literally discussing it today. What? It's 2023! In fact, I am so confident in the genius of these intro videos that I am sure there is something that I have not discussed in this video that was in those intro videos that we haven't even seen the full extent of yet. You know, maybe we'll see it in the next couple comebacks and we'll be like, oh my god, no way they did that? What? You gonna try and guess what it is? I honestly have no clue. Maybe, like, my bet is that it has something to do with Kai balancing in, like, different locations. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'm trying to kind of just do something new on the channel. I'm kind of coming out of COVID depression, I guess. And so I just wanted to make some stuff, you know, make stuff. Create things. So yes, please give it a thumbs up. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so that YouTube tells you every single time I post a video. All of my social media is linked in the description down below. And of course, I want to give a shout out to my patrons over on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. I really appreciate it. If you want to become a patron, join our private Discord server and gain access to things like the scripts, my updates, how I'm doing with videos, new video ideas that are coming up. Link is in the description down below. And as it is, thank you so much for watching. Stay steady, everyone. Bye!